What's up everybody, Joshua Casper back at you with Plugin Boutique, and I'm here to introduce this month's free with purchase plugin, and it is Virtual Drummer PHAT from UJAM. As with all of these giveaways, if you make any purchase for any value on pluginboutique.com for this entire month, we will gift you this instrument. This instrument is incredible. As you heard in the beginning, it sounds fantastic. We're talking about 200 presets, 60 different musical styles, and over 1,350 different patterns. That's built-in MIDI information at your disposal as soon as you download it. So in this video, I'm just going to walk you through what it is and how to use it, and leave a link in the video description for you to check out the giveaway details. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So this is Virtual Drummer PHAT. Now, this is Virtual Drummer PHAT version 2. It functions the same as every other virtual instrument version 2 from UJAM. Version 2 of these instruments have been recently upgraded, and they come with a lot more functionality, and I think you're really gonna dig it. So I'm just gonna play this drum pattern that I've laid out here one last time with no talking over it so you can hear it, and then I'll jump into everything else. I think we can agree that sounds absolutely phenomenal. So the way these work, PHAT works, and as I said, any other virtual drummer. And by the way, I've done reviews on most of these, so I'll leave links to everything in the video description. If it feels like I'm moving kind of quickly, I've done much more in-depth videos for all of these. And as I said, they're pretty much workflow-wise the same, so you can check them out. Over here on the left, we've got all of the individual drum hits. And these are triggered by standard MIDI locations on MIDI clips. So if you have drum MIDI, you can just drag and drop them like I've done here in Ableton Live, and you'll be able to use them just like you would any other drum instrument. So to control those, we actually have 5 different preset drum kits, and I'll just flip through those real quick. So here's the dry, fresh, deep, hip, and fat. They all sound absolutely phenomenal, but you can actually mix and match between those. You can see here that I've got instruments down here, and if I click on one, I can actually flip through the different types. So for example, maybe I want the fat kit, but I want type C kick. And then maybe that's a little bit too long, so I could just pull down the decay. You can see where we can begin to start matching. So anytime I have one selected, it will get a little orange selector. The bottom down here is where I can fine tune between picking the sample, decay time tuning, reverb send. We can solo it. We can mute it. We also have individual outputs. So if I turn this on individual and then come into Ableton Live, Control T to add a audio track, and then come in from VD FAT and then choose O2, set it to in, and then solo that channel. Oops. You can see that I'm getting that kick coming out of its own individual track. I'm not going to do that for this particular video, but just know that the functionality is there. So we can do that for any one of the different instruments and the ambience tracks as well. These are new to version 2 of Virtual Drummer, and they're just overhead mics and room mics. So I can solo those as well. And these are just great additions to the drum kit. It makes it more natural. Very rarely do you want to really push it out in front, but I mean, I find them absolutely fundamental. Let me just turn them both off and we'll see what it sounds like. It's kind of dry and stale. Just sounds absolutely better with mixing in a little bit of both of those ambience mic settings there. Over here on the master, we have a reverb, saturation, and maximizer control, and your general output, and then we have a few presets as well. So that's how to use Virtual Drummer as any other drum instrument. If you're going to be putting in your own MIDI or taking MIDI from somewhere else, those are the parameters that you're going to want to focus on. Oh, I did forget one though. Over here, we do have some mix presets. Let's just go ahead and try those out. I'm going to leave mine on bright, but you can see there that not only is there an EQ curve being added to the drum kit, but there's also some processing, compression, saturation, and so on that's being used behind the scenes as sort of a multi-effect that you can then dial in by using the amount sliders here. And that's the same with the slam for the drum kit over here as well. So again, I apologize for kind of getting ahead of myself, but those are all the parameters you're going to want to think about when using PHAT as a regular drum instrument. However, as I said in the beginning of the video, there are actually built-in patterns and musical styles that you can use, and those are over here on the right. So we've got presets. If I come in here, we've got all of these different presets. Let me just come into hip hop and R&B. I'm just going to choose this 103 R&B, and then I've got from C3 and above. We can trigger patterns, and we can trigger those by clicking on them inside of the instrument itself or by using our MIDI keyboards. So we've got verses, intros would be the two black keys right here. We've got fills on these three black keys, and then we have some endings, the chorus information, and then we have some special ones over here. And the cool thing about those, right, is as I said, we've got just about 1,400 of them. Not only can I choose the preset, when I choose the preset, right, it's going to change everything. It's going to change the instruments. It's going to change the drum kit. It's going to change the effects here in the middle. It's going to change the mix preset, the master settings and everything, and give me a set of style MIDI patterns. But I can keep all the information the same except for the style in MIDI and change it to, let's choose soul pop, and then so I've kept everything the same. The drums will sound the same, but they'll just be played in a different pattern. So there's a lot of ways to mix and match things, but the fun doesn't stop there either. Let's say I kind of like this, but I want to change it a little bit. What I can do is actually, where you see these 6 little dots, if I click, drag, and drop that, look at this. Now, I now have that as MIDI inside of my DAW. And if I come over here, and I can come in and make any changes that I want. Like turning down the velocity on those rides. Or, you know, we can obviously add some fills and what have you. Anything you want, really, sky's the limit now that we have the MIDI inside of our DAW, right? So there are so many ways to use PHAT to get good content. You can use it as an instrument, or you can use it as a pattern generator. And no matter what, at the end of the day, the drums inside of the PHAT instrument sound absolutely phenomenal. And you do have a ton of control over that sound. And even if you don't really like it, but you want to use that MIDI information with a different drum instrument, it's all yours, and it's all absolutely free right now with any purchase from Plugin Boutique. So that's just a quick introduction to Virtual Drummer PHAT by UJAM. As I said, any purchase from Plugin Boutique, you get it for free. Yours for life, no questions asked. So definitely click the link in the video description. And as always, I'm Joshua Casper here for Plugin Boutique. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.